Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. On last episode you saw us, we took the frame out, all the front suspension. We got parts everywhere. But on this episode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the paint from the front fenders and hood. We're gonna do it kind of slow. I wanna work that green paint off to see if there's any evidence of maybe a car identifying number or stencils, anything that might be on his black paint. So green paint is over top of his original black paint. And like I said, there might be stencils, something we can, it's like archaeological stuff, I guess. Let's get that paint off and see what we can find. Okay guys, just a quick overview of the tools we're gonna use to remove the paint from Bear. But like most of you, I shop at Harbor Freight. I mean, the prices are right, and I don't have to kill my wallet. I'm going to use an orbital DA to remove the green paint. Got a bunch of sanding discs here. Got these from Amazon though. This will take the paint off slow. We'll be able to look for any identifying numbers on Bear's fenders. Once we're satisfied with that, we're going to need to get down to Bear steel. New tool alert. This paint stripper tool, they call it a surface conditioning tool. 150 bucks, Harbor Freight. Comes with 3 drums, a 40, a 120, and a 240. Like I said, 150 bucks. I bought the 2-year warranty for $34. Probably gonna need that because this isn't gonna last an entire vehicle, I don't think, as far as removing paint. This guy, we're probably gonna be using this mostly for suspension parts, if I do use it, but I ended up buying a wire wheel and this polycarbide abrasive wheel. We'll get to that when we get to it. Yeah, that's about it. And then as far as safety, dust masks and safety glasses. So let's get this all set up. Let's start removing some paint. So I've done a little bit here in the areas where we might see maybe some numbers or stencils with the DA sander. We're not seeing anything, and it would take forever for me to get the paint off of this with this guy. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this guy and see how he does. Now I was using a 60 grit paper on this guy. The drum on this is 40 grit. So let's see how this works. Well, look who showed up. Bear's handler, Steve Ingalls. He's the guy that owns Bear. If you haven't watched the other videos, meet Steve. Okay guys, so Steve's got some updates for us, so let's hear him. What do you got for me, man?
So we got some things going on outside of all the action here with the 9C1. We've got the decals, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department decals for the doors and for the rear trunk lid areas. So those are authentic decals, so super excited. That's further along in the project, but yeah. Those are not easy to find. So the other update is on the light bar. So Paul Clifton and Roger Harwood teamed up together to help find this special light bar. It's a CTS light bar that only California agencies use.
Yeah.
So they're not easy to find. We now have that, so it's ready to go when the process is ready for it. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
They are really weird. I'm curious to find out if anybody knows what the amber light in the back of that light bar is for. Police officers, retired police officers, let us know. Yeah, it's a perfect example of, we don't need this stuff now, but when you find the stuff, you grab it and you hold on to it, because we're going to need it eventually. And speaking of which, you brought me some shocks. Let's see. I know a couple of you guys have been asking about shock absorbers. We've got some Monroe Magnums, front and rear. And for those of you wondering, let's read some part numbers here. Okay, rear. Monroe Magnum, 550013. And your fronts, 550012. These are Monroe Magnums. And actually, when you cross-reference them, they're for Impala, which makes a lot of sense that these would be on a 9C1 Nova police car, because you want this thing to handle, right? So, thank you, Steve. We've got a couple sets of these. Well, Steve, thanks so much for the updates. Here, you got to get back on the road. Yeah, you got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. So,
Thanks for having me today. Appreciate it.
No sweat, man. At least it's not raining here in the Berg. Usually it is, but got lucky.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm back at it. Okay guys, this tool is pretty sweet. I've got the hood stripped, about 70% of this fender done, the other fender's done, and this is the original barrel. This is 40 grit. I figured out that it's really cutting the paint on the backstroke as you pull it backwards, because it's spinning this way. When you come back, don't come back too fast. Just let it eat. It takes the stuff right off. Like anything, you got to be patient, but I mean, it's really doing a nice job. And maybe, I think I'm about 5 hours in on these 3 panels this afternoon. So that's not too bad, because, you know, what's your time worth, right? If I was using that orbital DA the entire time, going through 2 coats of paint and primer and down to bare steel, it'd take forever. But this guy's really chewing it up. I'm impressed. Okay, so I'll just I just got this top of the fender to go, and you watch when I pull it back, it really chews the paint. But going forward, not so much. And this is variable speed, by the way. Speed 1 through 6. I've had it on 6 the entire time. Okay, so that was about 4 minutes, right? Looks pretty good. That's just a few of these little spots here and there I got to take care of. But that's down to bare metal in about 4 minutes. That's about 14 inches. So not bad. Well, good morning. It is the beginning of day 2 of the paint removal extravaganza here. Yesterday, I got all the large surfaces done, you know, the big pieces. Now it's the trim work, or, you know, edges. So this edge, inside the fenders, the outer edges of the hood, just got to kind of get those cleaned up, and then we'll be ready for epoxy. So I guess I better get at it. Okay, let's come to the inside of the fender here. You can see a couple welds. 1, 2, 3. This is where the Nova emblem on the left front fender came through and was retained. Somebody welded these holes shut. Now we need to drill these open so we can put an emblem on there again. Okay, looks pretty good, right? That's about 6-7 hours worth of, you know, using that tool. Maybe had to use a drill with a wire wheel on it to get some of the little nooks and crannies, but we are ready for epoxy primer. One thing that happens, like in any restoration, you start removing paint, Bondo shows up, dings and dents. We have a few of those. I'll show them to you. All right, the hood. There was quite a bit of Bondo in these back corners. This is really, you can't see it, but it's there. There's a big wavy dent there. There's a few low spots here and there on the sides. There was a lot of wrinkles over here, a ding right here, a ding right there. You know, what are you gonna do? 50 years old. The front's pretty good. We got a couple rust holes coming through in the front. That can be taken care of, no problem. Fenders. All right, passenger side fender. Whole lot of dings over here. Like somebody was smacking this with a hammer for some reason. I don't get it. I mean, they're dented inward. So this will have to be taken care of. And there was a ton of Bondo covering that. This is also the side that had the one of the few rust holes. Few low spots here and there on the side. Not too bad. Driver's side, very nice fender, minimal Bondo under the paint. There's a couple doinks here and over here. The top was really nice. So that fender's in terrific shape, but we'll dress Bodywork when we get there. We're gonna go put epoxy on this stuff. That way we can store it away and get the rest of him put back together. Okay, I'm gonna get some rubber gloves on. We're gonna put these in the truck. We're gonna take them home. We're gonna be putting the epoxy on these at my house. All right, it's been a few days. Sorry about the video being late, guys. I was waiting on the weather to cooperate. Well, finally, good weather, so here we are. In the meantime, when I was moving panels around without gloves like an idiot, I got a few spots of surface rust we gotta take care of before we shoot any epoxy on them. So I'm just gonna scuff real good. We're gonna wipe everything up, get it clean, and we'll shoot that epoxy. Okay, so as you saw, I was wiping this hood down and the fenders with these lid-free rags and also a alcohol-based glass cleaner that won't rust. You just spray it on, wipe it off, keep wiping until the rag stays white, and then we're ready for epoxy. All right, what are we using and how are we gonna do it? Okay, epoxy primer with a catalyst. You mix this 1-to-1. We're gonna use this little cup here. Then we're gonna pour it through a filter and into my gun. My gun is just a HVLP Harbor Freight $50 special. It's got a 1.4 tip. Works great for epoxy. If we were doing base coat, clear coat, which we will in the future, we'll be using much nicer equipment. I spent a little bit of money on this one. The compressor is just a 33-gallon Craftsman. I mean, it works great. It's not huge. We got the pressure cranked down to about 25 to 27 PSI. Stuff's pretty thick, so that 1.4 tip on the end of there gets it out nice and even. With that being said, I gotta mix this stuff up, put it in the gun, let's go. Okay, epoxy went on nice. Now you can really see the dents and the dings in this guy. Look at the, boy, if the light catches it just right, you can see all down this side and over here. A lot of dings, a lot of dents. Somebody sliding across his hood like Bo Duke or what? The fenders, pretty nice. This driver's one is really nice. Just a few dingers here and there. You see that one. Those will pop out, no problem. Passenger side. Oh yeah. It's like somebody was using this for BB gun practice or something. They're just, look at that. Crazy. I don't know what the deal is with that. But overall, went on nice. Okay, not too bad. I got the panels are out here in the sun. We're gonna let them cure. When they're completely dry, I'll store them away. We'll get to them later on, you know, in the bodywork part of the restoration. But for now, I'm happy with this. And remember, you can do this stuff. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. Harbor Freight makes really cheap tools that do the job. Give it a shot. Don't be afraid. I was afraid, but look at Frank. looks terrific, right? You can do this. I painted him in this garage, so don't be scared. That being said, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.